to recap those and also just talk about the general concept of Prey 3 or Prey 3D. In the first story of Prey, it's a monster killer movie. In Prey 2, if you remember, this is when the lead, the final girl character from Prey, she's actually reflecting on her experience in Prey, and she has written a book.
Yes.
She
goes on a talk show, right?
Yes. So Prey 2 becomes, and the film Prey exists as like a movie about her life. That's referenced in Prey 2. Now in Prey 3, we have girls going to the original house where the killings happened in Prey that is still owned by the woman who wrote the book in Prey 2, and they are in the house watching the first movie while the third movie happens to them. It is honestly quite complicated and confusing.
Yeah, that was what did she say? I can't believe we get to watch Prey in the house it was filmed in.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we're good, Missy. You and Mr. Curtis enjoy yourselves, and there's no need to rush back because once we get the kids down, we're probably going to watch Prey down here.
Oh, yeah? It's not every day I can watch a movie in the house it was actually filmed in.
That's pretty cool.
And they imply that they went back to the same house to shoot in. Very cool.
Well, I don't think they were kidding, because one of the few details I remember from Prey is that the house where the killer lived, the house that was being haunted by the killer, where the main character lived. Did you remember how it was like leopard print everything?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this house had the leopard print picture frames. I mean, she could have moved houses and kept some of the leopard stuff, but like, to me, that meant that they were literally in the same place. Like, they just kept using that same house as a location because the actors just still lived in it. They still had access to it. But I could not believe the dream within a dream within a dream structure of Prey 3D. I just thought it was really like, it's definitely like what your neighborhood filmmaker thinks is really smart.
Yeah.
At the same time, I wouldn't exactly call it smart, but it was complicated conceptually.
It felt like self-aggrandizement.
Yeah.
Like, like these things are big. I don't know. To me, it was kind of cute in the sense that it felt like these things are a big deal in this small town where they filmed them.
Mm-hmm.
But it also felt kind of like we're going to like keep treating this thing that nobody has seen as if it's like a big deal.
I love that. I've said this before on our own show that there is something very typical about DIY filmmakers. This is a very common thing that happens. DIY filmmakers, they make their first movie. They don't know how to make a movie, but they work really hard with them and their friends and their community. And, as we've said many times on the show, literally anyone who makes a feature film basically has our respect. So, obviously you feel kind of like gassed up after you complete your feature, and you immediately sort of convince yourself that there is an audience for it. So then you work on your second film, and the second film like establishes that the first movie is like a well-known piece of cultural mythology, and then like builds on it. Even though there's like an audience of maybe 5 people, like Unequally Yoked is an example of that. Like, she made Unequally Yoked. The second one is more polished and like delves into the backstory of the character in the first movie. And it's like, girl, I mean, I'm sure her community saw it, but like, girl, no one cares about this family. They're not like, you didn't make the new like fucking Full House family or whatever. It's just like, these are just some random characters that are in your head.
Beloved characters.
Yeah, right.
The nerd.
Yeah, I literally already forgot all of their names.
There was the mom.
The mom.
Who could forget the dad?
And then the nerd, and then the super nerd.
Cedric.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah. The Bell family, I want to say. The Bellmans.
Yeah, the Bell family.
It's been a long time. And mind you, we have watched researched and spent hours talking about the movie, and I couldn't even tell. Like, not
There's
that long
also-
ago, I could not even tell you the
Isn't
names.
there
of
also
anyone
the
in it.
Bell Family Christmas or something?
Yes,
A
which
spin-off
we have.
movie?
Which I have a spoiler
They're
alert,
just like a
listeners. I think
normal
we're gonna
family.
be. Yeah, they're just a normal family. You know what? I just flashed back to something. I just remembered that I used to hang out with this kid in my neighborhood growing up, and this is around the time when The Sims was hugely popular.
Yeah.
And I used to go to his house and play The Sims on his PC. And he shared an account with his older sister, who was probably like in like a 8th grader or a 9th grader at the time. And all of her houses in The Sims were just like the Smiths, the Johnsons. Like, she made like really just mundane families in The Sims.
Whoa.
And I thought that was like really strange, because I used to like make weird like fan fiction families where I like created human equivalents of my favorite like Redwall characters or just shit like that. And she would just make like the Josephs.
That's so bizarre.
Yeah.
Some people just want to play God, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, that's sort of what Unequally Yoked a Bell Family Christmas is. It's like you just made a normal family and now you're like convinced that everyone wants to watch 3 feature films. But hey, she wins because we are going to watch them.
Yeah. Some people get really caught up in like doing the thing is the accomplishment,
Right.
which it is.
It is.
But like you can't expect everybody to be like everybody just sees the thing. They don't see the act of doing the thing.
Exactly.
And you know what? We love the thing. We love the Bell family.
We love the Bell family.
The more normal, the better.
Honestly, yes. But I agree. I think that is sometimes difficult for a DIY artist in general to shake, because it's just like, I mean, again, not everyone is like, trying to compete in the big city or whatever. Yeah. And I mean, just because we live in LA, it doesn't, give us like any more right or whatever to create than someone else. But the fact is that we are used to the idea of judging our work in context of like things that do blow up, that are like made by people we know, or just like, we have friends who work in TV or film or music or whatever. And so we can see people working on these like professional projects. So it's like, you can still take a lot of pride in what you do, but I feel like our outlooks are, depending on how you look at it, a little like, maybe jaded isn't the right word, but like maybe just a little more realistic in that like, I can still be really proud of what I did, but that doesn't mean that I can expect I'm going to put it up on the internet and like anyone's going to give a fuck about it.
Yeah, you can't expect people to be excited about like the sequel to whatever you just put out just because you put out the first thing.
Exactly. But we have Prey 3D, The Storm. So
yeah.
And I was excited for it.
We're the living proof that people will watch the sequel.
We'll watch this bullshit.